What grade would you give President Obama?
Oh, an F. No question about that.
Across the board?
Across the board.
Even despite the killing of Osama bin Laden?
Well, when I look at foreign policy and look at his decisions across the board in foreign policy, I look at the fact that he was looking to have a force of American troops staying in Iraq, securing what had been so hard won there with the status of forces agreement. He failed to achieve it. I look at what's happening in the Middle East. The Arab Spring has become the Arab winter. That's hardly a success.
They're listening to me. I told you they're listening to me. Did you hear that? Romney just said the Arab Spring is becoming the Arab winter. Thanks, man. No, I don't care where I get. I'm a great man. I'm like a Chinese proverb. Remember the Chinese philosopher who wrote, "It doesn't matter whether you get credit for what you say as long as people are saying it." Remember that? Do you remember that? Here he is ripping me off. Fine. At least his advisors have finally woke up. They're reading Trickle Down Tyranny and they're taking lines out of my book. There's hope for America yet. If Romney can become stronger by repeating lines from my book, he's going to win in a landslide. By the way, that's great. He said the Arab Spring's becoming Arab winter. Well, it's only 6 months after I said it, but nevertheless, better late than never. Unbelievable. Oh, Obama's in trouble. Stock market took a tanking, all following the weak U.S. job growth, also following the scam, the Zuckerberg scam, I call it. People say he had nothing to do with it. I said, really? Okay. That's why he's hiding in Italy and not tipping? He's not tipping me. He's afraid, all these lawsuits, he may need it in the end. 1-800-449-8255. Right. Obama has outspent the past 5 presidents put together. He is like King Ludwig II of Bavaria. He is a madman. You see, you don't understand that madness comes in many forms. You think madness has to be someone running around with foam coming out of their mouth. Madness can come in the form of a nice man, good-looking, nice voice, who's insane. It is possible that we have the first insane president in the White House. It's beyond comprehension how he gets away with it. What really astonishes me is how the Democrat Party elders have not yet taken him, let's say, and said to him, you got to stop pulling us to the left. You're destroying the party. They don't care about the nation, but he's destroying the party. That's all they care about, because the party never had it so good till he came along. And now the party seems they're in terrible disarray, and they're going to lose many seats. They're going to lose in a landslide because of this radical leftist who is basically outspending the past 5 presidents put together. So what I'm saying is they haven't told him yet? No. How do you reach a man who is so sure of himself? How do you reach Valerie Jarrett, who's really running the country? How? You can't. So let's talk about all these things. I mean, I got Bilderberg. I got the soda thing. I got the fact that Romney's using my line from Trickle Down Tyranny. That alone should make you spring for the money and go buy the book, don't you think? Don't you think you owe it to yourself to finally see what everyone's talking about? Trickle Down Tyranny. Why do you let liberals get best-selling books? See, this is the one thing that bothers me. The liberals at least back their own. You don't. Shame on you.
7.
Larry in California, line 4. Larry in California, where are you calling from?
Apple Valley, Dr. Savage.
I'm sorry, Larry, where?
Apple Valley. It's
Apple Valley. I'm sorry, beautiful place.
It is. Just called today to give you some great news on a Friday. When Trickle Down Tyranny first came out, it was very difficult for me to get the books, but I bought 6.
Wow.
I bought 2 for my children. I've been in the private equity business for over 25 years as a president and CEO of lots of various companies, working for a number of different private equities. But anyway, I had Mitt Romney's home address because of several conferences I attended in Boston that was brought on by Bain Capital. So I sent him a copy of Trickle Down Tyranny, along with a nice letter that actually, after I sent it, I reread it. That wasn't really so nice. It was closer to Dr. Savage writing it than me. But anyway, telling him that this is probably one of the best works that has been out, and I read lots and lots of books that I've seen in my lifetime, and I'm 65 years old. And
Well, Larry, look, as a man in the equities business, you're not an ordinary person. And what's interesting is that if people listen to me, they can get the mistaken notion that I don't understand economics, or I don't understand. I do understand economics quite well, and I also know that there's a great place in the world for investment capital, obviously. However, it's the pirates that have invaded the investment world that I basically attack and call out in the book. Wouldn't you say that's true?
Absolutely, absolutely. And there's good and bad in all types of business, as you know, Dr. Savage. But I also sent 2 copies to Fox News, one to that knucklehead Bill O'Reilly, and told him that maybe in his next little fairy tale book that he writes, maybe he'll actually sit down and address something, get something out of the book, even if it's only one portion of the book that has to do with where we are. I mean, I told in the letter to Mr. Romney, I said, this is a roadmap for your election. Just follow it.
But Larry, look, he just quoted me when he said the Arab Spring is becoming the Arab Winter. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. It kind of makes sense why I dialed the phone so many times today, hoping on this Friday to get to talk to you. And I sent another copy to Mort Krautheimer, who's my best guy that I like at Fox News, because I think you
got to understand, Fox News has a vendetta against me for reasons I actually don't understand. I did call O'Reilly leprechaun in a book I wrote about 5 years ago. I think that that's the reason that they don't want me near him. He's a very vindictive man and never forgets anybody who ever insults him. He's very thin-skinned. And it's his loss, frankly. But, you know, I'm way past caring, Larry, about what the leprechaun may or may not do. I want to thank you as a listener for, let's say, putting your money where your heart is, and I really do appreciate that, and I thank you again. That's all. That's simple. You know, did it make me richer? Think about it. Let's say I make $3 a book on royalties, if I made $18 on that. You don't understand something. I'm not looking to get rich with the book. I'm looking to change the course of this election with the book. Do you understand that carrying it around is like a billboard? You think about a powerful title. You know, Rachel Carson's book, Silent Spring, changed the world for the better. That one title woke the world up to ecology. That's what they called the environmental awareness of that time, ecology. What did the words Silent Spring connotate or connote? They had the connotation that if we didn't stop the use of various pesticides, one day we would wake up to a silent spring because all the birds would be dead. Okay? And it did change the world for the better. And we realized that we are the bird. We realized we are the eagle. That although the eagle's egg was breaking because of the DDT, it was a portion of us that was breaking because we are the eagle. So she did a great service by writing Silent Spring in the 60s. I remember what a shock it was, the title. And I kept saying to myself, my God, look how important the title is. So when I say trickle-down tyranny, and you carry that cover around, that cover alone is the message. Remember Marshall McLuhan, the medium is the message? How about the message is the message? How about the message is the message? That says it all. You have a tyrant in the White House, surrounded by tyrants, living and acting out a tyranny. Right now it's a minor tyranny, but mark my words, God forbid Romney blows this election or they get the illegal aliens to vote, as they're trying to do, or the trick voters from Brooklyn who can vote twice, once in Boca, once in Brooklyn. If that's permitted to go on, and this tyrant wins again, it's all hands off. This guy will do everything he's ever dreamed of doing. You say, well, what really is that? Well, go back to Reverend Jeremiah Wright's sermons, and you might get an inkling of what they have in mind. That's all. End of story.